So here we are, we're 900 foot above sea level, right up on the top of Breeden Hill, in a field called Big Joe's, which is some siskin, a Group 2 milling wheat. And up here on the hill we would usually grow Group 2s or Group 3s. In the Vale we'll grow Group 1 milling wheat, primarily because of harvesting issues. The later we get up here into late August, the quality does tend to drop off a little bit, so we just have to be a little bit mindful of that. This is wheat following peas, and it's had about 180 kilos of nitrogen so far. It might just get a bit more on the ear just to push the protein up once we've sort of tested. So the no-till arable has been quite successful up here on the top of the hill. Very thin soil, we're trying to build that soil, trying to keep it covered for moisture retention and increasing organic matter. So organic matters up here are ranging, some of them are 5.5. We've got some fields up here that are about 8%. Over the whole farm on sand and gravel land, for instance, we've moved it from 1.1 up to 2.98 since 2006. So we are definitely making progress. No-till is definitely helping that. So are soil amendments. So we are buying in poultry litter, mixing it with straw from the stud, making our own compost. We're also buying in green waste material. And last year we started to look at digestate as well. So there are lots of different ways in which we can try and improve that organic matter, which is absolutely crucial on these very, very thin soils up here on the hill. So wheat would be our biggest acreage, marketed, some sold forward, some through pools, marketed primarily through Frontier. ADM will take a bit, Glencore will take a bit. Round the edge of the field up here we've got a cultivated margin for rare arable weeds, reed, blackgrass, brome, charlock, wild oats for that, hence the fact we've had a little haircut. It's about the only thing round here that has had a haircut recently, but we do grow, joking aside, it does do some fantastic cornflowers and fantastic poppies. If we were having a farm walk here in June, this strip in front of us would be red over with poppies. So we've given it a bit of a haircut to take the seeds out from some of the other plants that we don't really want in here, and this will spring back. As you can see here, this is just full of poppies, and they'll be doing a really good job a bit later on. Oilseed rape, it is a challenge. We are growing it with companion cropping. So this was companion crop with berseem clover, with buckwheat, phacelia and vetch. This was planted on the 14th of August last year, and it had some sewage cake as well up here, some digested sludge as well. So it is a challenging crop, and cabbage stem flea beetle is going to be a real problem again this year. We've got about 160 hectares of rape in at Overbury. Of that, we're probably going to harvest about 140. The rest has gone by the wayside through flea beetle and actually through a few slugs as well, kicking around. So the other part of the rotation, which is really key up here on the hill, is hand-picked peas. We let this land out to a local veg grower, and we plant about 6 hectares a week of hand-picked peas. So this will be ready for harvest from the middle of July. Not this field, we've got some a bit further down, but middle of July through to about the end of August, maybe just into September, and there will be hopefully a couple of coachloads of people up here that will be able to harvest these for the fresh market. It's a great part of the rotation in terms of return. We can't really match it up here, certainly in terms of break crops, unless we have a very good rape year. It's a nice, some of it's late drilled. We've only just planted the very far fields at the far end there, so it's nice to be able to get weeds to chit and germinate. So we have convinced them over time that we can no-till these peas, and also that we need to cover crop them as well before the peas are planted, to try and stabilise the soil over the winter. It is quite exposed up here. It's a lovely day today, but in the winter it can be pretty fresh, and also with the heavy rainfall that we sort of seem to be getting. One of the disadvantages, we can't actually graze those cover crops which is a bit of a disappointment, and I think that's Red Tractor gold plating some of the food standards issues in terms of salmonella and things like that. I think Global Gap allows you a 3-month break, whereas 12 months for Red Tractor. So anyway, that's enough about that. So arable rotation, this has been no-till for 5 years, and over here this is the 6th year, so this is coming round to a full rotation in that farming system, which up here we're really pleased with.